Yolan True, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy, and welcome to another episode of our little A to Z officers series. But before I talk about a very interesting officer today that is hard to get, although he's an uncommon officer, I just want to say, if you're not a subscriber of my channel yet but do like my videos, then please do subscribe to my channel, and when you do, also click this little bell and all notifications so you will be notified when another video comes out. But now let's have a look at Leslie. He is, as I said, an uncommon officer. He's from the group Engineering, which means that you need engineering badges to upgrade him. He's from the group Shakedown Crews, and this is the group where you can only get a few of the officers in the shop and nowhere else. They were in the shop recently again, and he can get synergy from another one of that group if he's captain, or can give synergy to another captain of that group if he's on the bridge with them. And the faction is Federation, which means you need Federation faction credits to upgrade him. And there's a short text about Leslie if you want to know in the info box as usual. Some officers have long texts, others have short ones like Leslie. But he indeed has quite an interesting captain maneuver. I hinted that in the beginning, and it's called minor damage control. And that's a very interesting one. Because as long as the ship's hull health is under 35% of its value at the beginning of combat, Leslie restores it by 5% at the end of each round. So he can keep your ship alive for quite some time. And there are a few other officers that deal with something where your shield health is depleted, and in this case the hull health is under a certain level, and then they keep you alive. And Hipster Mud was another one of those that I suggested for the very beginning of your start with grinding in Sol, Romulus or Kronos. And Leslie is another one of those people that is really helpful when you are going against something that's really hard for you. And that's why I suggest that you try Leslie on ships where, you know, when I'm fighting there, it's always a very close call to ever be able to kill one of those. And of course, if you don't have the good mission boss crews yet, Leslie could be another help for you to get down certain mission bosses, because you always know that your ship will go below a certain hull health when you're fighting, and not the mission bosses. What is the name? Sorry, that's the non-native speaker stuff again. I wanted to talk about the silent enemies. If you're going against silent enemies, and no, you cannot do many of those, and you know at the second one I'm quite damaged already, but it's token space. So then you will use Leslie, because the prerequisite is it needs to be under 35% hull health at the beginning of combat, and not kicking in during combat when it's going below. But then you might survive more fights against something like the silent enemies, against Zindi, for example. It's always a trial thing. It's just a suggestion that you try Leslie on one of those ships to see if you can survive longer in token space because of Leslie's ability. It's something I do not need if I have certain enemies. I either can beat them and can beat a number of them then, or I can't beat them at all at the moment. So Leslie wouldn't be a help for me, but that's still an interesting thing to try out for you. What I use is the other ability, his officer ability, and that's the Battleship Trainer, because he increases the ship experience gained on battleships by 30% each turn. I said this on other officers like him, that it's on some ships is really hard to even auto level the experience points they need to upgrade. I have several ships that are max tier, but far away from being max level, because they need millions and millions of experience points to be upgraded. And then it's really a big help to have officers like Leslie for a certain ship type, to put him on the bridge while you auto-level that ship at night and gain more experience points for it than you would get without them. And there are several in the Shakedown crews, in the Shakedown crew that do this. As an uncommon officer, he also has one officer trait for away team assignments. He's an engineer. There's quite a number of engineers out there. That's why I didn't upgrade him too much. I rather use him from time to time for auto-leveling a battleship and get more experience points there. But that's still something he could be used for. But engineers, there are quite a number there, and you probably will have enough others for that. But as I said in the beginning, he's one of those who are harder to get. He is in one recruit section that I never use, and that's the Elite Federation recruit, because those tokens are really expensive in the Federation faction store. You need a lot of Federation credits to buy them, and he still is in here together with another one from the Shakedown crew, cruise crew, and that's Hendorf. But this is the only regular way to get him, because the other, as I said, is buying the Shakedown cruise pack, and he's not in the Ultra or Premium, and he only is in something I cannot show you at the moment because I have to do the exchanges during the Crucible of War. Otherwise I'm stuck with the tokens then, and so I used them on both. And but believe me, in one of the two there is Leslie in there, and that was the way I got Leslie in the first place, because I'm not using the elite tokens and I'm not buying the elite tokens. So I got him from the gold trophy, from one of the two gold trophy recruit sections from Crucible of War, but that's once a month, and so it took quite some time until I had Leslie, because you need patience on this one, and you need, of course, the normal luck with pulling officer shards out of there. And there are other officers that are usually only to get via this, or easier to get via this. I also needed the Crucible ones to get Betor in the end for my amalgam and so on. And but it's the only one where you don't waste tons of faction credits, where you can source Leslie. And if the package is in the shop, as it is, I think it still is at the moment, but it only comes up for a few hours, like 24 hours or whatever, and then it's gone again. But especially on Leslie and this ability with the 35% hull health at the beginning of combat, if you are using this ability, please let my other viewers know for which occasions you use that, and how you use that will definitely be very interesting for them, especially when they need to find some ways around certain problems. It's always helpful to know what other peoples are doing with those, and he can be a very helpful one. And if you have questions in general or video requests, you know that I regularly read your comments. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.